Good day programmers, welcome back to our Java UI Swing tutorial series. In this video, I will show you the basic use of jList in Java Swing. So first, what is jList? The object of jList class represents to a list of text items. The list of text items can be set up so that the user can choose either one item or multiple items. There are three types of layout orientation in jList. Vertical layout, which is the default, horizontal wrap, and the vertical wrap, which contains cells flowing according to its orientation. So this is what we're gonna do. We will create a form that contains a text field, for button which is add, edit, and delete, and also clear button for manipulating the data inside the list, and a vertical jList to display the data inserted in the component. Let's go in our Netbeans IDE. First of all, create a project that contains a JFrame form, and let's put all the components we need based from our design. And remember to change the variable names to the components to avoid confusion, especially in the buttons. Next is to create a default list model object so that we can manage items inside the list, and set our jList component as the model. Set the state of the buttons correctly at the start of the project. Next, we will create an event to the add button. In the event, before we add data to the list, we must ensure that they won't add null to the list. We will create a conditional statement to check whether the text field is null or it contains data. In inserting data to the list, we will use the created object, the list model, which refers to our jList, and use addElement method. Inside the element, we will pass the data and we get from the text field. When using jOptionPane, make sure that you imported the jOptionPane class. Now let's check if our add button works. Next, since there is data in our list, let's create a method that identifies if there is a data in the list. The clear button must be enabled, and call this method after we add the data. We can identify the count of data inside the list by using the getSize method. Next, before we move into the edit and delete button, we must identify first the focus of the user. If the user selects an item in the list, we will enable the edit and delete buttons. For this, create an event in the list, which is the mouse click event. And in the event, identify first if the user has selected an item by using getSelectedIndex method. We compare our getSelectedIndex into -1 because the -1 signifies that there is no item selected in the list, since the index on the item list starts from 0. which means the first item of the list is equal to the index 0 and the index increments along with the item number. Let's see if it works. If we did not create a conditional statement which is the getSelectedIndex is greater than -1, the edit and delete button will be enabled since clicking the list is part of the event mouse click. Next is how do we return into add. For this, create an event on the text field where the user focuses to type on the text field. We will use the focus gain as an event. In the event, we will use the text state of the edit button. If the text of the edit button is update, we will not enable the add since the state is the user wants to edit and update the selected item in the list. If the text of edit button is edit, then we will enable the add and disable both edit and delete, since it signifies that the user has no intention in deleting or editing an item. And for this to work, let's also create an event on the edit button that changes the edit text into update. Let's check if it works fine. I think it is. Now let's continue in the edit button. If the button is edit, we will get our selected item from the list by using getSelectedValue method. No need to use toString method since it returns a string value. And set the jList and button delete into false so that the user must focus only on updating the item. Also include the clear button. Now in the else statement, where the button is update, change the text into edit and get the selected index in the list by using getSelectedIndex method and store it in the variable. To update this selected item, use the model we created and use the setElementAt method. The setElementAt method contains two parameters. The first parameter is the new data, and the second parameter is the specified index of your selected item, which is the variable index we created. After that, set the buttons and the jList into the proper state and call the clearAll function. Let's check if it works. And it works. Now let's proceed into the delete button. Create an event in the button and inside the event create a variable that stores the index of our selected item. And we will create a yes or no confirm dialog. If the user selects yes in the dialog, we will delete the selected data using our model and method name removeElementAdd that contains a parameter index. If the user selects no, then set the button into its normal state. Next is the clear button. Create an event on the clear button, and inside the button, create a confirm dialog same as in the delete button. If the user selects yes, we will use remove all method to remove all the items on the list. Otherwise, set the buttons into its normal state and call the clear all method that counts the number of the items in the list to identify if the button clear must be enabled or not. I think the clear all is not a proper name for the method, but I'll leave it as it is, since I know what is the purpose of the method. Now let's check the output. That's all for the jList. Thanks for watching. Please hit like and subscribe.